Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Benevento. Now, it's been a long and busy summer. We didn't get a great transfer budget from the board in terms of player recruitment and things like that, but what we did get was a decent wage budget that we could fiddle around with and make sure we had enough money to make the changes that I think might be able to push us on from our ninth placed position that we finished last season. So as you can see here, just on the finances screen quickly, we've got 2 million in the balance. We've lost a good bit of money this season because of all the signings we have made. Original budget says 9 million, but that's not true. That's because I edited the budgets. I believe it was about 5.5 to 6 million when it initially came through, but that was like a £420,000 wage budget, which I've been able to flip onto the transfer budget side. Now, this is the business that we have done this summer. Sirisetti went out for 3.1 million in Napoli. That was a deal that was already agreed from last season. He was on loan to them last season as well, so we had nothing to do with that. We did sell Mitchell Donald for 1.5 million to AZ Alkmaar. 1.1 million could rise to 1.5. We signed him last season for £775,000. He would not have been anywhere near the first team this season because of the signings we've made. So I decided to get a little bit of profit on him. Probably could have held on to him and got a bit more from him, but I was happy to get him off the wage budget and happy to bring in his transfer fee to be able to reinvest. Roman Chibsar went to Carpi for £975,000. You wouldn't have seen him. He was out on loan last season, so we'll not cover him too much. Giamfi was our backup right back last season. We sold him for £375,000. Nicholas Viola was another squad player who you'll never have seen. And these other guys, I'm not even sure who they are, to be honest with you. So, in terms of incomings, we did bring in 3 loan signings. Montipo is a goalkeeper from Navarro. Andre Pinto is a centre-half from Sporting. And Lorenzo Dickman is a right-back from Navarro. Now, these are just 3 backup players. I just brought them in because I needed some cover in them positions and I wasn't interested in any of the signings we could have made. So Dickman is probably the only decent one, I would say. He's got really good potential for an Italian right back and he might find himself getting some game time if Letizia is injured. But Andre Pinto is a decent centre back from Sporting, nothing too great, and Montipo is just a bang average Italian goalkeeper. Now, in terms of the ins, we signed Jose Gomez for £175,000. He's a Portuguese left-back. He's going to be playing back up to our main left-back, who you won't have seen yet. He returned from loan I think he was on loan in Serie B last season, and we definitely could have used him. But he will be our backup. He looks absolutely fantastic for £175,000. I wouldn't focus too much on the star ratings, actually, because I think his stats are better than they would suggest. For £425,000, I bought back Trincao. I know I didn't want to bring in Trincao because we did have him on our Sunderland save, but for the sort of money you're paying, 425 grand, and we know the sort of player you can turn into, and with the limited budget that we've got, I just couldn't pass up on the opportunity to sign him. I'm going to save Sheriff Ahmed for the end because I think he's our best signing of the summer. Alberto Grassi, £825,000, an Italian central midfielder from Napoli who can play in the defensive midfielder role, but we have switched our formation slightly to accommodate him to play in that central midfielder role. I think he's going to be playing Mezzala for us. He's a really well-rounded Italian centre midfielder. £825,000 was just an absolute no-brainer. I think we signed him quite late in the window as well. But yeah, I think he'll be fantastic for us. Lugania was the centre-back that we had on loan last season from Sassuolo. We had an agreed fee with Sassuolo for £900,000 in the loan agreement. And although he's not usually the sort of signing I would go for, being 26, signing an Italian centre-half of his quality for £900,000 at 26 years old was just an absolute no-brainer, so I brought him in. Vladimir Scarisu for 1.7 million. We brought in a Romanian defensive midfielder, and he was the reason why I sold Mitchell Donald, because he's got no chance of getting in ahead of this guy. 3-star current, 5-star potential. He will, although he's not rated as high as Andre Pedrosa right now, he will be probably our starting defensive midfielder. We signed Jairo for 3.3 million. I think it was from Las Palmas, yes. An absolutely fantastic right winger. He was transfer list. No, he wasn't transfer listed. I think Las Palmas got relegated and it was a relegation release fee. So as you can see, he's already worth 8 million straight after signing him for 3.3. And I hope he's going to be fantastic for us and we're going to make a good profit on him. And the last one before Sheriff Ahmed was a Felix Udekai. We signed him from Wolfsburg for 3.7 million. That's right. I actually checked him earlier in the window. My scouts came and says he was available. They didn't say an asking price. I made an offer, and then Wolfsburg came back with like 60 million, and I was just, well, obviously I'd just turned my nose up at that. But then I got a message through later on in the window through on my scout meetings. His agent had said he became available for the 3.7 million. He was transfer listed by request, so I think this was right at the back end of the window as well. We didn't have much time left. Yeah, it was the 31st of August. So we made the signing. He is the kind of player that will take us to the next level, basically. And Sheriff Ahmed, he is an Egyptian striker, £575,000, and he is just delightful. We signed him from Ismaili in Egypt. He's already made, 9 or 10 appearances for Egypt, scoring 5 goals. And he just looks super good for an 18-year-old. He's obviously a regen who's came through. And I'm sort of banking all my hopes on this guy. Right, so that was all the transfer business. There's nothing else I really need to address right now. So we'll get into our first team selection of the season. Vid Belic, you won't have seen him. He returned from loan. I wanted a new goalkeeper, but I just could not find one. And Belic spent the season at Sampdoria last season. He's came back, and now he is going to be our starting goalkeeper, as we lost Puggioni, who retired, I believe. Letizia will normally be our right back, but he's suspended for today, so we will start with Lorenzo Dickman. At centre half, we will have Udekai and Luca Antia. So our left back will be Gianluca Di Chiara. He was on loan last season, out on loan. I think he's a really well-rounded 24-year-old Italian left back. He won Serie B Player of the Season last year, so I'm hoping he comes back in and he does a good job for us. Defensive midfielder will be Escresiu. As you can see, our assistant actually rates Pedrosa higher than him, so it will be an interesting battle between the two. But because of Escresiu's higher potential, I think he might win that battle. Right wing, we will go with Gyro. Central midfielder, Alberto Grassi. We'll start with Alex Moreno for now. This season, Trincao will obviously be coming on as much as humanly possible. And up front, we will start with Sheriff Ahmed and Massimo Corda. So we didn't actually sell that many players in the summer. You know, the plan was to sign as many players as we can on cheap enough fees and be able to sell them in the summer for profit, but nobody came in for any of our players really. The likes of Alex Moreno, who was complaining about contracts. A lot of the other guys who are not in the starting lineup right now didn't attract any sort of transfer interest. Renato Santos was another one who wanted out all summer. I did set his asking price quite high, but he is worth $5.5 million, so I didn't want to get mugged off. But he's gonna have to stay, and he's going to be back up to Gyro now. So unlucky bud. But yeah, that's going to be our first team selection for this season. We're going to be playing Lazio away from home, which is obviously a nightmare start for us. I think they finished. Did they finish in the top 4 last season? They might have. They might not have. They're lining up with the 3-5-2-1-2, whatever sort of formation that is. It is an attacking 5-2-1-2 apparently. High wing backs. Any interesting changes to their sort of starting line? And Filip Benkovic, I don't believe he's there in real life. He's a really good centre half from Croatia. Palombi you don't see too often. He's a youngster who starts at Lazio and he gets quite good as well. But yeah, key player Milinkovic-Savic. Obviously he is just a wish. Right, we'll get into the first match. We'll give the boys a bit of a G up and we'll see how we fare. And we kick our first game of the season. We're shooting from right to left. I just don't want to get beat too badly. Highlight now, big kick up for Ahmed, but Benkovic can keep him at bay. And Lazio will build from the back. Lucas Leiva to Luis Alberto. Immobile got all the space in the world. And Lazio cut up on our defence. It was decent play from Lazio. They played it out all the way from the back at the goalkeeper. Lucas Leiva to Luis Alberto, and Immobile is just there. Slots it home, top bins. Nothing Belic can do about that. We're down early on. Highlight now, we've got the ball quite deep. Can we build something, or are we going to give it away? Alberto Grassi's now got it to Alex Moreno on his left hand side. Can he beat his man? He gets the ball in. That's going to be the highlight. Strakosha claims it out there. Same highlight continues, and Dickman's just kicked it over the Lazio defence, and I'm not sure why it's still showing me this. There's obviously a highlight still coming, but it's the longest highlight in living history. Luis Alberto finds Palombi through the back line, and Palombi should be putting that away. Massimo Corda now finds Lorenzo Dickman, who finds Gyro, who knocks it into the box. And oh my god, that would have been the jammiest goal ever. The Lazio defender nearly put it into his own net. Good save by Strakosha. Immobile now's got the ball high up the pitch for Lazio. Spizzicino on this right hand side, he gets the ball in. Palombi's there. and he makes up for his terrible finish earlier on in the game and makes it 2-0 to Lazio. Do you know what? We're not even watching that. And that's that. Half time, a game where we have not really created anything. We had that chance through Gyro getting a cross in and hitting the Lazio defender, but we've looked completely bereft of ideas up front, so might need to make some changes later on in the game. But I've got a feeling this game, with the formation they're playing, it's going to get away from us now. Udokai now plays at the Gyro on this right hand side. Can he find Ahmed down the wing? He cannot. Benkovic he's marked out Ahmed all game. Alex Moreno now. Gyro again gets dispossessed by Izzo now. Lazio are probably going to break. Luis Alberto Palombi just finds all the space in the world between our two centre halves. Neither of them are picking them up. Neither of them are watching the run, and that was so easy, so easy. Luis Alberto here. You know, I thought centre half was probably our strongest position before this game. Udokai, I think's the best player in the team, and Luca Antia is a really solid, well-rounded centre half. So to get tortured like that, it's disappointing. Right, because they're playing high wingers, and what the hell have we got to lose? We're going to play much higher wingers. We're going to drop Alberto Grassi back to see what's his preferred role in this sort of situation. We'll make him a ball winner, and we'll make Scresiu a supporting defensive midfielder. And I'm going to get the wing backs on attack. We're going to go for this. So this is either going to finish 3-3 or 7-0. Now you say the problem we're playing the high wingers is now the wing backs are just going to absolutely torture us going forward. We've just got to hope that we can get a hold of the ball a bit. This highlights continuing. Massimo Corda down the left hand side tries to get the ball in. Izzo clears. We're pushed really high up now. Scresiu. Lorenzo Dickman's got a bit of space. He needs the option gyro. What are you doing? You're just standing there. Bastos clears and Alex Moreno now. Can he get the ball into the box? A decent ball. Corda's there. And he makes it 3-1. Is this the start of the comeback? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Dickman got the ball in. It was cleared by Bastos, but we are so high up that they are pinned into their own defence. Sorry, that's the door. Well, you can blame my girlfriend for getting deliveries at this time of night, 5 o'clock. Right, we'll continue where we were. It's 3-1. We scored. It's 3-1. Ahmed now with a free kick quite deep in their half. Can we keep the ball high up the pitch? Alex Moreno now. Cordo takes a strike. Couldn't find the target. Right, we're going to make a couple of changes. We're going to get Francisco Trincao and Renato Santos on for our two wingers. And Sheriff Ahmed had a disappointing opening game, so we're going to get Claudio Mora on in his place. Highlight now. Oh, Lazio are down to 10 men. We are going to go overload, lads. It's time. There's only 5 minutes left and we're not really looking like we're creating too much in the way of chances. The game just sort of trickled away. That sort of formation there is not too bad when you go down to 10 men. You don't really lose your defensive stability and still have options up top as well. So that's going to be that. Full time, Lazio 3, Benevento 1. We did get a goal back through Claudio Mora, but just look at them stats. Lazio dominated and we didn't really deserve anything from the match. Oh, sugar. So early season form might be a struggle. It's pointless looking at the table right now. It means absolutely nothing. So when we come back, who we're going to be playing? We're going to play Udinese in October. We are at home in that game, so hopefully we might be able to play a bit better than we played against Lazio today. So a disappointing result against Lazio in the opening game of the league. But please tell me what you think about me transfers in the summer. I feel like I've done some good business given the limited funds that we've had. And I do think it'll see us going well in the future seasons in terms of being able to sell these players and reinvest in the future. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. And if you're enjoying this series, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.